Alright, so for your first solve, what you did is for your cross, you did this in L, R, and then these two, you can just do a D prime to pair them up, R prime, U2, F2. For your cross solution, what you could have done is move this piece over here, and then you have this is solved, so just replace it by doing a U, R2, and then you have these three at the bottom, and you can do a D prime, R2. And then also what you could do is you could track this pair right here. You could see this. You notice this pair is going to pair up like that. And then instead of just doing an R, do a U prime and then an R. Also, you could cancel into this pair also, but this is just something that I probably wouldn't see also in a solve. So you could just do an R2, U prime, R prime to pair those up. And then like that. Okay, so for your first pair, what you did is actually pretty nice. Right here, this blue and orange pair, so you split it up and insert it into the back, which is a really nice way of doing it. But honestly, you would like to look ahead, and like I said before, looking for better cross solutions is definitely good. But I would honestly see this pair first here, because it's hard to recognize a pair in the back. For this case, you can just go like this. Otherwise, I wouldn't critique anything about that solution for that pair. It was really good how you inserted it into the back. Okay, so for your second pair, you actually do fumble around quite a bit, and I'm not sure like what this was for. And you thought you were gonna solve this green-red pair, I believe, but you ended up going for the red and blue pair. But you actually rotated over here, which is kind of bad because then the back slots are open, and you don't want to do that. You always want to insert pairs into the back like you did before. But with this pair, you solved it pretty efficiently, just like this. Okay, I also feel like a better thing what you could do, it's rotationless and it's sort of keyhole here. So what you could do is adjust this D layer over here, so then you can insert the red blue corner right in here just like this, and then do a D prime, and then it pairs it up like that. There you have it in the right slot, both right slots in the right back and right front. You have it open, so then you can go into your next pairs. Okay, so for your third pair, I honestly found it kind of inefficient here. So what you did was you saw this red and green and this red and green here, so you brought this out and then paired it up and then inserted it into the back. But honestly, I would just recommend rotating over here. Since you already have this in the front, I would not keep this whole entire block in the front. So if you rotate over here, you have the two right slots on your right, and then you can just go straight into this pair right here. This case goes like this. And it's easy, and then it's just a 2-gen solution for this pair. One thing I also noted, when you did that third pair, you also did single U-flicks. You want to also learn and incorporate the double U-flicks, because I find that a lot of people around your stage, around sub 15 or so, they need to incorporate that a little bit more and work on finger tricks, because in my opinion, finger tricks are the very, very basic thing of cubing. You should definitely learn it before focusing on the other steps, I think, because once you learn the basics of finger tricks, everything will come a lot easier. Okay, and finally for your last pair, what you did was you finally rotated over here because you knew that everything was filled up and it'd be really hard to look for the pair over here. And your solution for this pair right here, the green and orange, what you did was a U2 RU'R prime to make it a pair like that, and then you put it in. Okay, and Lexlie, before, what you could have actually done was definitely rotate before, but from this angle, what you could have done was do an F move right here to solve this pair, and then this is like the FRU F prime sort of thing from Jaden McNeil, and then you could do U prime here, and then pair these up like that, and then sledge it sort of, and then insert it. I know it's a lot of moves, but it's rotationless, and I just want you to learn that sort of technique that Jaden McNeil sort of revolutionized the FRU F prime thing. So definitely be sure to watch some of his videos about that, and that technique can really help you with diag slots and even single slots also. So just wanted to point that out. Okay, and for your OLL solution, honestly, you did it from this angle, and I'm not quite sure what you did. It's sort of like a variation of the E-perm thing, but I would not recommend doing the algorithm at all. So there are two algs that I know to solve this OLL, because the one you used, you rotated down a little bit when you did it, and that is not good at all. So the alg you can do from this angle is F, R prime, F prime, wide R, U, R, U prime, R prime. From this angle over here, you could do F prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, wide R prime, F, R. Okay, and for your PLL, you had this case right here, this A perm. You did a lefty A perm, so I noticed Tomer did that last week. The lefty A perm, I think, unless you're like left hand dominant, definitely do not do that. What you want to do is you can just do a U over here, and you'll have no AUF, and the alg from here is R2, D2, R, U, R prime, and be sure to flick like that, and then R, U prime, R. Also, alternatively, what you could do from this angle with headlights in the front, what you could do is R, U prime, R, D2, R prime, U, R, D2, R2. Just like that. And those are just two alternate algs. Definitely do not do the lefty A perm. Okay, and for your cross solution for your second solve, what you saw was you saw this piece in here. So what you did was a U, R prime, F to put these two in so they're opposite, a D2 to make those already solved. And also what you can notice is this pair here. It's really nice because when you insert this in later, it brings it out, and that can be your first pair. So you move this piece over, sledge that piece in, and you notice this pair comes out. But you actually don't do this pair because you split it up some way. But I would just recognize that this is a free pair and put it into the back. Okay, so for this cross solution, what you could have done actually is a D2 to make this opposite, and here this cross piece and this cross piece like you did before, just putting it in, and now they're all opposite, and then do a D2, and then what you could do is put this in. And also I was looking ahead because I know this is the green and red corner, so if I do a U2, it pairs it up, and then you can insert that last cross piece in, and then go straight into your first pair. Okay, so for your first pair, you did not notice this pair at all, so you also did notice this pair right here, this green and red, so it was right here, but you took it out like that, which is kind of weird, and then you went like this, matched it up, rotated, and put it in the back. It's good that you put it into the back. That was not a good solution, and you should have just noticed that pair. So what you also could have done for the solution for the red and green is right here, these two, you could just do a U2, and then also when you do an R, U, R prime, it's a split pair, and then you can insert it right there. And this also preserves this pair, so you could have easily just gone into that. For your second pair, it was actually a fairly decent solution here. So you saw the red and blue pair, you rotated, went like this to pair it up, insert it into the back. It's actually a really good solution there. I wouldn't really critique anything, and honestly I would have done the same thing as you did. And also same with your third pair, it was actually really good. You had it here, but just recognizing it a little bit because you did look up like this, just recognizing and going very fluently into your next pair, so your solution went like this. Like that, and it was really good. I definitely wouldn't change anything about that. So for your fourth pair, it was actually good except for the rotation at the end. What you could work on is manipulating the F moves and also inserting pairs like that. So solution for this was like this. You rotated here, but what you could do is a U, F prime, U prime, F. For your OLL, you did two look OLL, so you did a U prime here, F, sexy F prime, and then you did that weird E perm sort of thing. Definitely do the alg that I showed you before. The OLL case you had here was just this case, you had a line and then you had this block in the front and a block in the back like that. And the way you do it is wide R, U prime, wide R prime, U prime, wide R, U, wide R prime, and then F prime, U, F. But then anyway, for your PLL, you had a U perm. It was good that you did an MU algorithm, but you kind of did lock up a little bit. And what you could also do is from the back, you could do this alg, R prime, U, R prime, U prime, R3, U prime, R prime, U, R, U, R2. And also what you could do from this angle right here, have the solve face on the left and do R2, U, B, F, R2, B prime, F prime, U, R2. So for your final solve, what you did for this cross was a L, R, these two in, and it's a D2 away from being solved. Then you did an F2, and then you did a U, and then inserted this into the back. So for your cross, what you actually could have done instead was a R, and then move this piece in, L, F prime, like that. So now all of these two are a D2 away, but we need to put this piece in, so you can do a D prime, R2, D prime, and then you also have this nice pair that you can go straight into. And also that solution is rotationless. For your first pair, it was actually pretty good. You had the split pair here, so you did a U2, rotated, inserted it into the back, which is really good. So for your second pair, what you could have also noticed is this nice free pair right here, but you ignored that and you already looked ahead for that pair. So what you did was you actually split it up like that and then solved it from here. So for your third pair, you actually had this really nice split pair here. So you did but you could have done a U2. Definitely work on your finger tricks here, and then you inserted it, and then you have a really nice 2-gen solution here with all the edges oriented. So your solution was pretty straightforward for your fourth pair. You just went like this. You just still did this really weird OLL. It's kind of weird that this happened in all three of your solves, but once again, try doing it from right here and just go like this. So for your V perm, it was actually nice, but the one I would recommend doing is going like this. because that's the rotationless one, and that's the one that a lot of people use. But otherwise, your solution was great for that, and it was your best solve in 11.68. So overall, your solves were great. The one thing I would just recommend is for your finger tricks is working on doing some more double flicks and also doing a little bit more efficient F2L pairs. For example, like this pair right here, you can just solve it by rotating, splitting it up by doing an R prime, U2 R, U prime, and then rotating and putting it back in. And then another thing is for your OLL, for this OLL in particular, you could do it from this angle, from that alg I showed before, or you could do it from this angle by doing this alg. And your PLLs were good. You have good knowledge of the cube, and also one thing, try to practice your cross solutions, trying to get 8 moves or less on all of the solves, and if you need help with that, then just let me know and I could help you with that. CS Timer also does have a built-in cross solution thing, and it does find the best cross solutions for you. Those are just some things that I would recommend you work on. Overall, your solves are good, and I can definitely see you getting farther into maybe sub 12 in the future. And yeah, that's all I had for this video, guys. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Join my Discord, and also follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.